I am a photographer, and I am passionate about everything that revolves around photography. And the court of my recreations is the sea. This is what interests me today, to show the sea a little differently, with macro on objects that revolve around the maritime world. Working enormously with lights with a spirit a bit more contemplative. This is what I like to have a side of Zen around the sea. I've been a collector for 4 to 5 years. I've always been passionate about photographs. I take photos for myself. Having grown up in an artistic universe, around sales to auctions, my cousin Antoine Godot, who advised me to collect photos. The digigraphie is a system of numerical impressions realized on artistic paper. All media of art, textured papers, like the canvas of paints.
À texture mate, en passant par le baryté, comme le canvas, la toile de peintre.
The point of this media is its durability. At the beginning of the year 2000, it was Epson who launched the first, and it must be known that many labs and international brands reflect this type of product. However, today, they have made very important advances in this market. In terms of quality and rendering of this process, Epson is the main source today. The basis of my collection will be towards the treatment for digigraphie, since now we know that the photos have a durability of 60 to 80, even 100 years. There is now quality problems in the photos. It turns out that in 2006, Guillaume Plisson took a photo of a beach between Trinidad and Karnak. That was called Mandu Beach. And he took a picture that for me is emblematic and will stay in the history of photography, because it is a timeless photo. For 50 years, there has been enormous activity that can take place and that will take place, I hope, in 100 years. That is to say, the classic beach activity, children playing, people fishing, etc. With an exceptional brightness, so the picture is very clear. I live 100 meters from this setting. It is a place where I go every day to look at what is going on. Since there are scenes of life, it is a place that is absolutely magical where everyone lives his life. And I place myself in an area that overlooks this beach. And I stay between 4 and 5 hours to take a single picture. There's a time when we don't know why we press the button, because it really seems that each thing is in its place. I fell in love with this photo when he showed it to the public in July of 2006 in the Plisson Gallery in Trinidad. I didn't buy the photo right away because it was expensive, and I was not certain if I wanted to incorporate this type of photo and its price in my collection. I saw the photo again in December in the nautical show, and it was a strong emotional shock for me. In fact, how it happened, it was quite simple. I saw a boy like this, totally stopped before the image, and I said to myself, there's something that must have touched him. And I walked up to him like this and touched his shoulder, asking him how it was going. He looked at me and did. I introduced myself, and from this moment there was a friendship that took place. After he came to see me saying, I cracked, I bought it. What is magical is that, thanks to digigraphie, we saw a new clientele in our gallery. We saw amateurs in art collection investing in our products, something we had never seen before. Today, each can become an author, composer, or interpreter. We become 100% the master of our work. It is not just realized by the lab, but can very well be realized by photographers, anyone. From this moment of knowing the technique, one can master his work 100%. The picture is no longer treated like a classical photograph, but like a masterpiece. We approach it more like a canvas, like the labor of painting, and it is like this. The artist knows he will work in digigraphie. He will work much more on the retouching of the photograph, so it will look exceptionally like a painting. Before it relied strictly on chemistry, we were subjected to a technique that we did not master, and now we are totally free to think and realize what we want. The difference of media also, before we had shiny paper or semi-emulsified. Now we have papers emulsified with different materials. Before we were restricted to chemistry, we were subjected to a technique that we could not master. We had papers that we will search for in the whole world. We could look for paper like of Chinese sketches, paper made of plant materials, and for my part, I think it is the future. That is why I've decided to enter a digigraphic photo in my collection.